Hey there, it's Rusty Nelson, your college art professor, and it's drawing day. And in keeping with kind of the theme for the last few drawing sessions, we're working with a face using a different method. It's something I've mentioned in other Loomis tutorials where you're figuring out the structure and the alignments, the rhythms, and everything in drawing faces. I've mentioned the fact that I use and work with a shape and silhouette method as well. It's more of an old master's technique and method where you're looking for big general shapes first, and then you keep refining the face down into the specifics and get the detail at the back end of it. So whereas with Loomis, you're really kind of blocking everything in a very linear manner with lines and proportions and divisions and everything like that. With the blocking method, it's just a real simple shape, and I think it leads into nicely what we as humans tend to do already anyway, is just to recognize patterns, and that's kind of what you're doing. You're trying to break the face down into overall general shapes and patterns and get them in the right position. So it's not to say that I don't use Loomis or Riley in this technique. It's just I don't draw them typically. It's really kind of a, I know it's there and I know where to place things, and it's more of a trusting your sense of proportion and your placement of the shapes on the face for it to look right. So I'm going to be working with a Tombow pencil and a ebony pencil. So we'll sketch out and block in everything with the ebony first, and then we'll come back in with that Tombow 6B drawing pencil. It's really dark and it'll give me the contrast that I need for the sketch. And that's really all this is. This is a face and drawing sketch. It's nothing major in that I'm creating artwork. I'm trying to learn how to draw a face and sketch it out quickly, get it done, and move on to the next one. This is really something I would do in my drawing class, where we do finally get to a point where we're doing faces, not just figures. We're starting to develop a better understanding of faces and how light plays across the face and all the shadows and everything. So not that I spend a lot of time on portraits and figure drawing class, but I do want to have enough of a knowledge base to be able to get a decent face to put on the figures when they're out in front of us. This is a really good method when working with a figure drawing class, a live model class, where you don't have the reference right there on the tabletop with you, where you can kind of measure and put plumb lines in and all of that. So you just really have to kind of do this all mentally. So that's where we're going today. Let's give this a try, see how it turns out. All right, so I'm working on a regular laser paper, nothing fancy. This is just a sketch. I don't want to invest any time and money into decent paper on this. I'm worried more about my abilities to observe and get these faces blocked in. I've chosen, very carefully, I've chosen a black and white image. Don't have to do any color conversions or anything like that. So I already have the grayscale figured out for me in the photograph. It's an interesting shaped head, since this is a shape and silhouette and blocking in technique. I chose a subject matter that has a really good shape overall and something to work with. And we'll see how this goes. So let's get started. Like I said, it's just plain copier paper. I'm starting out with an ebony pencil, sharpened pretty nicely. And then I also have my 6B Tombow. So let's see how this goes. And I will hopefully do this roughly in the shape of this woman's head. So big angular shapes first, right? And we'll come in and try to catch all these shapes in right proportions. All right, so we got the overall planes that I'm trying to catch. We got that cheekbone right there, pulls it down, gives us right in through here. That ear comes clear down here. All right, going to catch the shape of that upper eyebrow right there, and we'll just kind of start blocking in all of these various shapes. There's that eyebrow there. If we can get that eyebrow right there just right. Again, just blocking things in. I don't have the top of the head quite right just yet, so I'm going to work that up here in a second. All right. Get that cheekbone. That is about right there. Pull that out a little further. All right, cool. I'm going to try to catch this lip just right. Get the underneath side and catch any of the shadows. Again, blocking stuff in, making it read right. If we can catch this chin just right. This is very forgiving. I actually started working with this technique on my digital drawings and paintings for my illustration class. So working with my students, getting them up to speed with digital drawing and painting, I was doing a lot of black and white images using this blocking method digitally. So I have been working a little bit more with it in the last few weeks, prepping some of these tutorials to get out here on YouTube. So I've been doing them as traditional method blockings and portrait drawings. And I do agree, I think they tend to be much more expressive and have a little more life than if I was just trying to use the Loomis method straight on. All right, so really, this is working pretty nicely. I'm feeling some nice shapes going on here. I don't have it centered on my paper that well, but all right, we'll just keep working here. I grabbed these references from Pinterest, and it's getting more and more difficult to find things on Pinterest that aren't AI generated. So I don't have enough height here or right here. So we'll get that in here, get that pulled over. So this is where you can really make a lot of your adjustments and find and get the shapes just right. And I find I have a better luck doing that with this method than with Loomis. So we'll pull that hair on down. All right, so really just a mid-tone blocking of everything that we can then come in and really start building the structure, the line work, the detail, and the textures in with this right now. So, all right, so there we go. We got a pretty rough face ready to rock and roll, and we can come in and really start building out the structure and the detail here. So, all right, so I'm just to get kind of going here, I'm just going to come in and start working around the hair. Again, this is going to be a sketch, so I'm not real concerned about it being highly modeled, but I do want to have a sense of some of the shapes. I'm going to just kind of block in some of these locks of hair on this, and we'll just work our way around. All right, so it's just loose to tight. We've got some more up here. There we go. So we'll just keep it going, just coming around. All right, now we can kind of come in and start building some of the structure on her face. There's that nice eyebrow ridge right there, comes around her eye right there. All right, so we want to get this and this kind of figured out pretty darn quick right there. And then the eye, we got the upper eyelid coming around the eye. We got it coming right down here on the nose. She's got a very straight nose with a little dip out with her tip of her nose, comes down right into here. All right, we'll deal with that. Cool. All right, comes down to the lip, and I want this eye right here. Let's get that eye. We got all those eyelashes right there. All right, so, okay. There we go. With the eye right in here, we'll throw that in like that. And get this lower eyelid and right there. All right, so there we go. Got a nice under portion of this nose right there. Again, I know and have Loomis in mind, and as I'm kind of blocking in some of the specificity here, a little bit on this side of her, and then that cheek comes out right here, and it comes right down along to where the lip and the mouth and the chin and everything is happening. We kind of have this shape going. All right, so we're able to really find a lot of the stuff just through those initial shadings. And this is all a very dark shade right there. So, and then we come in here, try to get the eyes in about the right spot. And there we go. Get the right shape. Comes around, there we go. And her eyes over here, block it in real quick. She's got a pretty high upper eyelid, got some nice tonal range happening right there, and a little bit of structure underneath the eye. All right, we're going to grab that little nostril, get that shadow right in there, and got a nice shape. Comes down right about in here. We got a nice shape right in here. And I'm just structuring it up a little better. Throw this Cupid's bow right in there. And then I'm going to get that eyelid. Let's get that eyebrow, I'm sorry. There we go. Eyebrow. And we do have kind of a nice little indent right there. We got that whole angle right in through here, all right? Just going to block that in. And we have some more hair. Throw that in here. Comes down right along the ear. Swoops down over the ear. So there's no circles or anything that I worried about getting started on this. It was just try to get that initial silhouette, that blocked shape set just right. And then we're building all of the construction of everything else inside that. There we go. Let's get that ear. She's got those rings in her. I'm going to ignore the rings. I just don't want to deal with them in the sketch. So it's more about all the facial features and the structure going on in here. There we go. Throw it down like that. There we go. All right, and then she's got that nice jawline. Coming down the back of her head, her neck is right in through here. All right, and she's got a very square jaw. Comes right down around like that. So we've done a pretty good job, I think. We got the eyes about right. I think the nose looks pretty good. We just got to get the right set of tones. We got the Riley method lines right there. Got the lip coming down, or the connection of the nose and the lip happening right there. And the next crucial thing is to get these lips just right. So we're going to do that right now. get that upper lip, lower lip separation. If I can get that right. All right. And we'll get that lip right here. We're going to see the actual edge of the lower lip right there. And then we're going to bring it over and then connect it up. All right, so we got an upper lip, lower lip thing going on here. And then I need to get the upper lip, lower lip separation kind of happening right here. There we go. And let me get that a little better. We'll get this upper lip where it comes, bends right around like that. Sorry, my beginning of the semester cold, late summer cold has struck. So if I'm sounding a little froggy, that's why. Okay. And then we'll get this chin right in through here. Got a nice shape like that. Comes down, around, there we go, like that. And again, I like to try to keep things fairly angular. And we'll throw that. There we go. All right. There we go. So this is working out really pretty nicely. Things are looking pretty good. There we go. And we have it really pretty well blocked in. I think now it really just boils down to a lot of the shading. And again, this is a sketch, so I'm not going to get too revved up about shading. I just want to give it enough value and contrast that I can work with on the sketch of the face. Get a little more contrast, a little more density into the hair. All right, and then we can really come in and start blocking in some of the tonal ranges over here on the face as well. So that upper eyelid has some tone. This whole foreground plane, here's that whole Riley method plane on the front of her face. We have a little bit of it coming in right here. Comes off of the mouth. You can see those little rhythms right in through there. So even though we're not drawing them, I have those methods kind of in the back of my head. They're definitely barking at me as I'm drawing this, so telling me to pay attention to them. So there we go. Get a little more of a shape there. And this is a graphite, so I mean you can come in and start doing your pushing and pulling, smudging if you want to do that kind of thing. It's not as user friendly as charcoal when you want to do something like that. So, but now we've got everything in its place. We just need to come in and really start kicking up all of the structure and contrast that we want to get into this. There we go. And find all the fun details. All right, let's get this. This lip here is really dark right on the back side. There we go. There we go. We got a nice shadow on this underneath side. This whole underneath side of the nose is in shade. Let me get the nostril a little better there. There we go. All right, now let's get some of these eyelashes. Her eyes definitely need to get a little shadow on that eyeball to pop a little better. A little more shadow right up here. And let's get those eyebrows a little more hairy there. All right, so there we go. Really nice dark modeling right up here under the chin. And we have a range of tones happening. I'm going to get a little more of the hair going here. I'm going to leave it very graphic and suggestive, sketchy. I'm not worried. I just want to see if I can get the proportions about right. There we go. We got a nice shape there, and it even comes down along that Riley method rhythm right there. And this side is really a little darker right there. Let's get this hair going up a little bit. And we'll throw some strands out there. So there we go. What's happening up here? There we go. So this is a very fun method that you need to work with and try. I do like it. I like it a lot because I think when I am working too heavily, I do like Loomis when I'm working with an odd angle on the face. It helps me to get the head in the proper position. But this is a really good method for finding likenesses and catching. Let's look here. I'm looking at my TV screen now rather than just my paper. So my monitor screen to see if I got everything about right. I think it's it looks about right. I think it flattens out a little more like that. Comes out and around. Okay, and then of course there's the wild strands of hair that we have back here. And back here we can drop them in real quick. And boom, I think we just did a quick sketch. We have some lost edges down here on the jacket. We didn't need to worry much about that. We can suggest that button, get a little more line work. Again, structure, line work, suggestive. It's a nice sketch. It works pretty well without being too slavish to the idea that it has to be photographic. It has to be realistic, but we definitely are working with the shapes and trying to get everything about size. I got it sized about right in comparison to what my image is on screen. So there we go. And that is a quick sketch using the blocking, the shape, the silhouette method, tone to line, rough to tight. You know, there's all sorts of very familiar ideas behind this method that you might be using in your watercolor as well. So big general shapes first, get everything positioned and blocked in the right locations, and then you start introducing more and more detail as you go along. So give this method a try. You'll probably throw Loomis right out the window. You want to do this. Again, I still have Loomis in mind. I still have Riley in mind when I'm using this method. And like I said, I did do a lot of this digitally in, I think it was Procreate. So if you have an iPad, get over and download Procreate. And there's some really good brushes you can work in there and draw with in Procreate. But that's what I was doing, this method right here in Procreate. And that's what gave me the best results digitally. And I've been working and kind of bringing it back from the digital realm back over here to the traditional realm. So give this a try, see how it goes, and let me know. Drop me some comments. So if you got any value out of this tutorial, please give me a like and a subscribe. And the comments really do help a lot. So thank you for dropping them in there. I like it. It gives me a lot of good video ideas, and that's exactly what this is. It's a viewer requested video doing this blocking and silhouette method. So thank you for that comment. And if you want resources on Loomis, on Riley, on design elements and principles, head over to the video description, kicks you over to my website, and you can download all that stuff. Video description has all sorts of affiliate links as well, so you can buy all sorts of good merch and stuff from Amazon. If you do click on them, those are affiliate links. I'll get a small commission. And if you think I'm doing anything on this channel that's worth a hoot, head over to my Patreon channel and give me a $5 a month membership. It'll help keep the channel going, keep me enthused and wanting to produce these fun videos for you to watch. So, hey, I'm glad you showed up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.